And it is underway at the United Center in the Illini. We talk a lot about the backcourt, but getting the big guy involved. James Augustine off the feed here from Roger Powell. And the Illini looking very good early on top, 12-6. Dan and Dick.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. And here, the #1 team in the nation, Illinois, off to another blazing start. It is 12-6 over Oregon. As Steve just told me, when Coach Kent over there switched to the zone defense, that slowed the Illini down just a little bit here, Steve.
Yeah, they seem to be getting their composure here. It's so critical, that initial surge. The Illini just blow teams out. Average margin of victory by 20 this year, 8-0.
This is Brooks. He's the point guard. This is Crossweight from Australia for the Ducks. This is Malik Harrison. He's the talented freshman out of Renaissance High in Detroit. Left hand misses. Rebound Smith. He subbed for Augustine. D. Brown, headman, running game. Yes, and one. That's what the Illini love to do. And Oregon came here to run, Steve, and it could be a track meet.
Look at this in transition. These guards play so well together. A sense of where each other is on the floor. They give up the ball. They share the sugar. So dangerous. The speed, the quickness, and the vision of the Illini. Outstanding.
D. Brown, one of many of these players on this top-ranked team out of the Chicago area. He went to Proviso East. He, of course, was Mr. Basketball. So voted on by the fellows who cover for the Chicago Tribune when he was a senior. He's a junior down there, one of the fine point guards. I say one, they've got a lot. Harrison takes his game outside. That's his second field goal that he knocks down. Mom and Dad have traveled down here from Michigan. Aaron Andrews is going to chat with them before the afternoon is over. Very highly recruited. Smith turns around and misses. Here's Crossweight from Australia. Off at the rebound. Turns it right over to the Illini. Here they come now. McBride off the bench. Fires a three ball. No. And there's little D. Brown to dig it out.
One of the problems with the 2-3 zone, obviously Oregon can't afford turnovers, but also with the 2-3 zone, it's tough to pinpoint box out responsibilities.
Williams goes inside, outside, and they missed the three ball from the corner. Headman's Harrison. What does he look like in an open floor? Driving layup's not there. Back with the rebound off his miss, and it goes over to the Illini. And well, Steve, you said this would be a track meet. We watched the Oregon practice yesterday. They've got some great athletes.
Yeah, there's no question. Both coaches drill their teams very well at transition basketball. They both excel in transition. The difference in this game is the Illini experience. They start 5 upperclassmen, juniors and seniors. Oregon doesn't have one senior on the roster, but a very bright future. They're going to continue to get better over the course of this season.
There's Bruce Weber, who has done such a fine job in his second year. Came from Southern Illinois, a longtime member of Gene Katie's staff down in Purdue. He brought the motion offense that you're watching now with the Illini. Comes Williams, is cut off, and head moves down into the corner.
Very active zone, not a passive zone by Oregon. A lot of high hands, communication, covering their areas.
Williams fires an air ball 3. And Oregon's change on the defense, as traveling is called, that has turned this game completely around. While you were watching the end of that exciting Louisville, Florida game, Illinois was going up and down the floor against a man-to-man, but now things have gotten a little bit tougher here.
Well, against the zone defense, it forces the offense to probe, make a couple extra passes, and obviously you protect the basket area, the paint. The only open looks that Oregon wants to give up is over the top with a hand in your face.
Now Love, the JC transfer, will operate at the point. Harrison's going to get a break. Kent, the coach's son, is on the floor. He is some speed merchant. World-class 400-meter man is out there now, and Oregon's just going to increase the tempo if they can. Lincoln is off Kent's bench, and here's coach's son handling the ball right now. Jordan Kent gives it up, and Lunan, one of the big fellas, off of that bench. Oregon is very deep, young and deep. Lincoln fires a 3, and it's good off the bench.
Jordan Kent has to be happy. They withstood that initial Illini surge. Crowd was in the game. Now they've quieted down a little bit. They're in that 2-3 zone. Look very comfortable defensively in that zone.
They're back within 4 now. Flip it over to Head and down to the corner. McBride ships inside. Augustine back outside. Here's Head. He'll fire a 3. Yes, drains it.
Good patience by Illinois. Swinging the ball, getting nice ball reversal, changing sides with the ball.
Folks, it looks like the largest gathering ever of the Illinois Alumni Club here. When you look around at the Orange, we've got a standing room only crowd, 21,000 plus. The Chicago Bulls would die for a crowd like this right now. You can't find a seat in this arena. Back outside now to Lunan, whips it to Love, and they come around the horn now.
Illini 23-6 all-time in the United Center. Very comfortable playing here.
Knocked away by Head. Williams couldn't track it down as Kent keeps control. There's 5 on the shot. Gotta hurry now. Lincoln on a runner, uses glass, no. Now the Illini head man is Williams. Williams is a great passer, has struggled with his shooting over the last few games. Gives it back on the outside, Head loses control. But inside, Powell is fouled. He'll shoot a pair.
Against the zone defense, so critical that you're patient. Good inside-outside looks, transporting the ball in the perimeter, searching, probing, the open look by Head. Nice high release, count it.
Illinois leads Oregon by 7, and today's game is available in beautiful ESPN HD and brought to you by Phillips and Best Buy. And folks, nobody looks better in HD than Aaron Andrews. Aaron, nice to have you with us.
Brent, thank you. You know, this is the 3rd time in school history Illinois has been ranked #1 in the nation, and that has proven to be somewhat of a good omen for this program. The previous 2 times they were ranked #1, they went to the NCAA Final Four. I spoke with head coach Bruce Weber about this, and he says he's always trying to teach his team to learn from other people's success, and he hopes that history is a bit of good luck for them. Brent?
Yeah, Aaron, and Bruce Weber, you know, the players didn't exactly buy into his plan immediately when he replaced Coach Self last year, but do they ever like that motion offense now, Steve?
Well, yeah, he did go through some struggles early, but now he's the toast of the town in Champaign. What I'm really impressed with is the poise. The Illinois team's very composed. They seem to be comfortable in the glare of the spotlight of being #1. That's because they've been in the NCAA tournament. They were highly recruited athletes. They're comfortable.
Now, after Powell made it all 5 starters into the scoring column for the Illini, the Ducks come right back. Here's Love, has it knocked away, stripped, here it comes, a beautiful run out. D. Brown in for the layup, nothing to it. And the #1 team in the nation is showing everybody why. Now if the rest of the Big Ten can just join them, what a year this conference is gonna have.
So tough defensively on the ball. Active hands.
Love pops out on that wing. They miss Taylor and Harrison not being on the floor. That's their firepower. Platt drives in and foul offense. Ball control foul on Platt. Look at D. Brown's hands here.
Well, he's a pickpocket artist. You don't protect the ball here, slapping, blocking the shot. That gets the Illini out in transition where they are so deadly.
Steve, they've already got 9 fast break points here against the Ducks.
Well, they excel in transition. Quick shots and turnovers. You can get blown out in a hurry.
Just ask Wake Forest. They went into Champaign ranked #1, and they got their wheels blown off that night.
It's remarkable. They're averaging 20 points. 20 points is their average margin of victory. It's remarkable.
Williams to the right baseline is fouled and 1. You talk about a good-looking team in December. It's the Illini. Wow.
Well, they have great continuity, those veterans. As you look here at Darren Williams, nice job of avoiding the defense. Nice soft touch, a shooter's touch there. Great backspin.
That great ball rotation you can see on that free throw. Illinois 10 of 10 at the line, and Oregon has not yet visited it. Taylor sits back down for the Ducks. Crosswaite's on the floor. Brooks is back in at the point. Harrison #1, the freshman from Michigan. Platt is there, and also staying on the floor is Lincoln. Here's Harrison, draws the double team, stays with it, fires, left hand, whoa! How about that talent by a freshman, Steve?
One of the top 3 freshmen in the country, right there with Rudy Gay of UConn.
Loose ball picked up. Ducks have got it on a turnover, trying to put together field goals here. Here he is. Harrison feeling it in front of mom and dad with a great pass. And Crosswaite is on the free throw line. I mean, dad is up cheering over there. And his son had come back to the midcourt line. Folks, if you look at him real quickly, you'd say, He's related to Lynn Elmore. I mean, when I saw him when he first came into Billy, I said, I can't believe it. Lynn must be a relative, but he's over there with Mom, and he was saying, way to go, son. Stay with it now.
Well, they're excited, obviously, with their son up there in the Northwest. They don't get to see him very often. This is a rare opportunity where the Ducks come back to the Midwest. Of course, Ernie Kent grew up locally here. So a lot of family ties with the Ducks in the Midwest area.
That's the second personal foul on Powell, who came into the game hitting 71%. While you were watching the game down south, he missed his first 2 field goal attempts of the game. Well, of course, later today, how about this matchup? Coming your way on ESPN 2 at 5 Eastern, DePaul and Notre Dame. This is a non-conference game, folks, and next year it's in the Big East Conference as DePaul will join them. So that has been a tremendous rivalry in the Midwest. One of the great legends of basketball in the Midwest is seated right behind us. The former DePaul coach, Ray Meyer. Can they save it? They do. Here he is, the coach, 90-some years young back there, just as sharp as can be. We had a nice talk about hoops with him before the game started. It's always great to see Ray Meyer here. Looks cut off now and forced back outside the arc. Up firing's Lincoln. Yes, drains another 3-ball. So he has been a factor off that Oregon bench. He's a junior from Portland.
These Ducks can fly, Brent. They get the ball up the floor in a hurry, get organized in transition. They'll attack the three-point line.
Ingram's on the floor for the Illini. They're trying to end this 7-0 Oregon run that has put them back in the thick of things. Augustine's that jump hook he's working on. Got it to fall again. Second time, Steve, for the little left-hand hook.
Very smooth, long, sinewy-muscled athlete. Very intelligent player, James Augustine is.
Air ball by Ingram. Now the Illini can run off 2 in a row. Crossway goes down at a collision. Both he and Augustine get back up. Head fires corner. Drains the 3.
Quick timeout by Ernie Kent.
Man, Oregon on a 7-0 run. They're back in the game, and then Steve, bang, bang for the Illini.
Well, both these teams rely on spurts. Nice move in the post here by Augustine. Little James Worthy spin move along the baseline. Comes back with the jump hook. And then in transition, Brown, early movement in transition. Finding Luther Head. Again, stroking the ball. Look at the rotation and the high arch on that nice three-point shot.
Steve, I go back to 1989, that Final Four Illini team. They were loaded with Chicago area talent. You know, Kendall Gill, Nick Anderson, Kenny Battle. This team is a little bit different. I don't know how much NBA talent is on this Illini team, but what impresses me is the way they work together, the chemistry that Coach Weber has with this group.
Well, the veterans, they've played together. They have continuity, cohesiveness. They're very well knit. They remind me of the 97 Arizona Wildcat team that had Mike Bibby and Miles Simon, Dickerson. That team there, very interchangeable parts. Jason Terry. When you have interchangeable guards like that, very difficult to defend. That 97 Arizona team went on to win the national title.
You know, assists have just been such a huge part of the Illinois story, but here today, the Ducks have 7, and the Illini only 3 so far. That's unusual. They usually get them let me check that. Let me reverse that. It's just directly the opposite. In low now, and the wraparound is good by Ray Schaefer, the 7-foot redshirt freshman out of Alaska.
Great look by Harrison. Tremendous passer, has good vision, knows where his teammates are. Tremendous passer.
Misfire and in underneath. The foul is on Nick Smith.
This is what makes Malik Harrison so tough to defend. He can stroke the ball from 3, but he also has a great sense of where he is on the floor. Nice pass, setting up a teammate for the easy bucket under the hoop.
Major league talent. Timeout. Hey, you folks out in Las Vegas, circle down December 31st. The Illini are out there to play Cincinnati. Not in the Thomas and Mack Center. They're up in a high school in that tournament. Get your tickets early, folks. That is going to be some showdown. The Illini hammered Cincinnati in the NCAAs a year ago. What a matchup on New Year's Eve out in Las Vegas. Here's crossweight of Oregon stepping out.
Oregon trying to establish an inside presence. wanting to play inside, outside, not rely totally on the perimeter.
Crossway gets it in low, and there's a pushing foul. And it goes against D. Brown. It was in working on Schaefer. And Aaron, what's going on with the Ducks?
Well, Oregon is stressing patience and speed. Head coach Ernie Kent telling his team, every time we have patience, we do great things. We need to run down this floor. Work your tail off, guys. Control this team and run down the floor, Brent.
All right, Aaron. And we'll see what they can do here with 7:26 to go in the first half.
That's an important point that Aaron hits on there. They want to push the ball in transition, but if they don't have the numbers or the advantage, they need to be patient, play inside, outside, put some touches on the ball, and establish a post presence.
And Schaefer turned the corner. Offensive foul is going to be the call on the big fella. He hooked him coming around, and the Illini will bring it back down. McBride, Augustine on the floor, along with Smith. So against the big fellas, Weber has gone to sort of a double post.
Oregon's back in their man-to-man defense.
D. Brown has it stripped away. You know, Crossway, aggressive, good-looking basketball player from Australia.
Very skilled for a player his size. He's leaned down some. He's stayed away from the Foster's beers from down under.
I can't go out with him. I can't have any fun with him.
He's in a good training regime. Dropped about 15 pounds.
Is it that easy?
Just eliminate the Fosters and the big doughy pretzels. The salty pretzels.
I'd have nothing to look forward to. Ed keeping it on the dribble with 3 on the shot clock. He loses it. It goes over here with 6:38 to go, Steve. And 30-20. The Ducks could close out the first half with a nice burst.
Well, if they could just hang in there and get to the second half, avoid that knockout punch from the Illini, Ernie Kent will be happy, regroup. They've already played 10 players, the Oregon Ducks have. They use their whole bench, try and wear you down over the course of the game.
Jordan hit back on the floor. Lincoln has to give it up. And here is Crossway. Put it down. Stepped in. Lincoln going to try to drain another 3. Did not this time. Augustine's board.
Illini's played 4 games in the last 8 days. They have the trip back to Georgetown. Got in late last night. Shot around at 8 a.m. this morning. Gotta wonder if maybe they're going to get a little fatigued here after that initial surge of adrenaline.
In over the top and out of bounds. And while they were in Washington, they toured the House. They got a great inside look at the House of Representatives. And there we are, folks. One man, one sport, huh? Number 3 was the very familiar number on Dale Earnhardt's car. And tonight, 3 presented by Kay Jewelers, premieres at 9 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN HD. What a legendary character Dale Earnhardt was. Man.
People back here sure appreciate race car driving.
Don't they, though? Platt with an easy layup, good ball movement.
I like Platt. He's a plotter, he's a Hanyok, he's a workhorse, not flashy, not going to dazzle you, but just does the dirty work down on the block.
A Hanyok?
A Hanyok, a big, wide body. Got the Harpo Marx hairdo as well. He didn't even know who the Marx Brothers were. That's an NCAA violation in my book. You have to know who the Marx Brothers are. I asked him yesterday, you know what Harpo is?
Now I have to know what a Hanyok is. Here comes Ingram stepping out. Rains it. The big fella.
Hanyoks are workhorses, plotters. Yeah. They just get it done down there. Set screens, do the dirty work.
Called the Hanyok. There's a LaPlaw hood. You're not as old as I am. You know.
Bill Lambier was a big Hanyok. It doesn't mean they're not skilled. They can have skills and step out, but they're just not going to dazzle.
Bill Lambier is still a big Hanyok.
Even a bigger Hanyok now.
He should have been in the middle with his
Billy Paltz.
Rick Mahorn breaking that fight up. Those two guys would have ended it fast. Yeah, Billy Paltz.
Billy Paltz, big whopper. A Hanyok.
Yeah.
Jack Ingram, actually, for the Illini is a Hanyok.
There we go, folks.
Every coach needs Hanyoks.
Add it to your basketball hoop junkie vocabulary. Steve Laffin gave it to you. Long pass, dangerous, off Taylor's hands and out of bounds. Not one that I think you want your point guard try there, Steve.
Well, too much distance between passer and receiver to come off a pick and roll 35 feet from the bucket and throw across your body to the deep corner, the coffin corner. That's a tough play.
Unless you're Joey Harrington, you know, you're looking for a guy on a fade.
To a tight end.
Exactly. Oh, Augustine's going to run free. Went to the right hand and drew the foul that time. And protected the ball from the defender, trying to put it down and still draw the foul. Take a look at this.
Yeah, nice screening action here and a release after the screen. Watch a little rub there, screen. Augustine giving a good look. Fakes the screen, then slips to the basket to draw the foul. Just a well-coached, well-schooled, well-drilled team, this Illini.
I don't think it's too early to mention that what Weber wants most of all is one of the 4 #1 seeds when they're finally announced, and we head on into March Madness. Of course, the Big Ten tournament will be right here in mid-March in the United Center in Chicago. The regular season is coming up. One of the things that the coach has no control over is the injury factor. And when you have an outstanding team like Illinois, I want to mention Kansas up there, North Carolina is one of the fine teams, Oklahoma State. Should those teams hold on and be the #1 seeds, they'll do it because for the most part they'll stay injury-free.
Well, the season's a marathon. Coach Weber knows that. A veteran assistant for 20 years under Gene Cady. 18 at Purdue, 2 at Western Kentucky. Did a great job. Great defense by the Illini there. No room on the baseline there for Aaron Brooks. Tough place to bring the dribble down to the baseline because the out-of-bounds line is an extra defender. It's like being triple teamed. Brooks only a sophomore. He's still young, still learning.
You know what he told me? That you wore him out on that bicycle, right? When you were trying to recruit him at UCLA. He said, I haven't been the same.
I chased him everywhere. Went to Venezuela, ended up in the hospital in Miami, got a virus in Venezuela trying to chase him.
In and out. Harrison off with the rebound.
Still didn't come to UCLA.
And you were with me.
That's why I'm next to you, talking about Hanyaks. Instead of coaching my team at UCLA.
Inside, Taylor with a strong move. Head man now is Head. A young team has to remember to get back off a field goal.
Well, no time to celebrate, no time to short leg it or lollygag in transition. Illinois takes your basket away. Bryce Taylor scores, and within a heartbeat, like the old Lakers, Showtime, Worthy's down the floor scoring on you. Nice job by Head.
Brooks tries to get it in low to Schaefer, and out of bounds. Illinois basketball off the head. So it's 36-24. The Illini with 11 fast break points here in the first half in Chicago. Yeah, exactly. I think they do show a sense of maturity which they did not demonstrate all of last year. Let's take a look at Lavin's lesson, folks.
Well, here we see a nice spin move by Taylor, hanging in the air, gets the soft carom off the rim, but the quick inbound by the Illini back up the floor like a fly pattern in football, and they take away that basket. So you make a basket, they take it right away from you by attacking you in transition.
There's Ernie Kent, and you know, he's lost #1 draft choices to the NBA 3 straight years. Folks, only one other school can say that. We don't have the Athletic trivia today, so I'll tell you it's Duke. But that's one of the ways he goes out and recruits. Ernie Kent does not back away from youngsters going to the NBA. He used it when he sought out Malik Harrison. He went into the home and he said, Luke Jackson is my latest product to go to the NBA. There they are, folks. You could see back in 2002, Fred Jones, he's getting playing time now with the Pacers because of the suspensions. Luke Ridnour, if you haven't seen him, watch Luke and the Sonics. What an outstanding job he's done. The Sonics have lost only 3 games, fewest losses in the Western Conference of the NBA. Taylor back firing off that glass. Good looking shooter, Steve.
I love the fact he used the glass, old style UCLA, John Wooden. The bank's open 24/7 like the ATM. Always go to the glass when you're at the angle like that. Also, Taylor didn't dribble there. Sometimes players will try and dribble that. He kept the ball high and just released it nice off the glass.
Williams is 3, yes. And maybe the shooting touches back for Williams.
Right back at you.
Hairston. Now Taylor whips to the corner.
Ernie Kent's style of play is a big reason they're so successful in recruiting. Kids want to get up and down the floor. They have a track record now of players going on to the NBA and being successful. Can't beat that in recruiting.
Travel. Taylor took just a little bit extra step off the Love pass.
You see Darren Williams here, nice inside-outside. They attack the high post. Then Augustine kicks it out to Williams. Again, great release, great pronation in the wrist, and follow-through off the middle 3 fingers.
Pronation, man, you got it all today. Pronation, I haven't heard that since Ben Hogan was preaching how to play golf.
It's all in the wrist.
Oh, yeah, make that back cut. Take it to the rim and D. Brown.
Boy, it's like watching or listening to good music the way these kids are so synchronized to play together.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. They are making sweet music out there, Steve. I totally agree with you. They are so impressive right now. Look at that one-handed pass. Got ricocheted away. Williams almost had a highlight pass. Gets a hand on it. Ball out of bounds. Listen to the crowd, folks. Just listen to it. Standing room only in the United Center, where the Big Ten Conference Tournament will be played. It was in Indianapolis last year, back in Chicago this year. Harrison loses it, back down by Love. He's the JC transfer, backup point guard, getting some minutes here. Crossway on a pick and roll. Taylor's three. Yes. Great shooter and scorer. He has 9 points in the first half.
I don't know how he got out of Southern California. You know,
yeah, what is that? How'd you guys let him out down there?
I'm glad it's not my fault. One of the few things that isn't my fault in Southern California. Can't take the blame for that.
They blame you for the traffic out there. It's laughing.
Earthquakes, fires, riots, you name it. OJ, it's all my fault.
Here's Head. Short on that shot. It's great to have you with us in the ESPN family. Their loss is our gain, let me tell you. Learned some new words today at basketball.
Illinois double teaming on that pick and roll out top, trying to get the ball.
Crossway had young Kent open underneath and elected not to go. There's Kent. Terrific rebound. Taylor fires a deep three. And here comes Steve Brown with his speed. Got hit to his left. Alley-oop!
Wow.
This is showtime out of Champaign. A couple hours to the north in Chicago. One of the most entertaining teams you'll ever see in college basketball. They bring the first half to an end, and I want you to watch alley and oop right here, Steve.
It's what they call a dime in transition, putting it on the money. D. Brown, full steam ahead, a beep beep roadrunner, but then a nice soft pass. Luther Head with the left.
And the Illini shoot 56% in the first half. And right now, let's send you to Dave Revson and Jay Billis in our ESPN studios. Take it away, Dave. Illinois never trailed against Oregon in this game in Chicago before a standing room only crowd, and they lead it 43-29. And Steve, what impressed you the most about the Illini in that first half?
Well, I think it's their poise and composure, the well-knit, cohesive way this team plays, their pressure defense, which leads to offense in transition where they're so dangerous. They just share the ball. They share the sugar so well. We look here, D. Brown with good pressure defense, gets a nice block. That gets him out in front, not having to play against an Oregon zone or man-to-man defense. Open court, easy buckets. Here again, Bryce Taylor with a nice bucket, but Illini right back at you. They wipe away your basket, a fly pattern of football. That's like Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice downfield for a quick score. And then Luther Head from the perimeter, again, sharing the ball, coming from a skip pass cross court, playing inside, outside, very balanced attack and a veteran team.
And you see the numbers from the first half. The Illini blazing away from the field again at 56%. They came in shooting 52% through 8 games. They haven't missed a free throw. Oregon's only been on the line to shoot 2 free throws as we get started here in the second half.
Well, the Illini have gotten to the foul line because they've gotten inside of that Oregon defense, both through dribble penetration, through post feeds, and getting in the boards. They've gotten inside of Oregon's defense.
Mitch Platt down in the middle of that zone on the drive. The Illini missed the first shot of the second half. Bryce Taylor hits the head man, and it's Malik Hairston.
Oregon needs to be patient, play in two gears. If you have transition, an opportunity in transition with numbers, the advantage, go ahead and take the shot. But if not, be patient on the half court here.
Steve, I think we can safely say this Oregon team will be better come March than they are right now.
Well, very dangerous. I think capable of being a second or third place team in the Pac-10 and potentially an NCAA tournament team. Very tough to beat at McCourt.
Beautiful spin by Crossway. Fake left, came back right to the baseline for the field goal for the big Australian.
Got crafty moves, some nice dexterity and agility down the block for a player as big as he is. He's a big wide body. He is a Hanyok, but he's skilled.
There have been some good big men out of Australia. Now that I think back on it, here comes Augustine, cut off by Crosswhite. He got there and then took an inadvertent shot in the groin. The Aussie got to shake it off a little bit.
Got to save the family jewels.
That's it, man. Inside Williams. Battle for the loose ball, and it was kicked out of bounds. And Aaron, what did Coach Kent have to say to you at halftime?
Well, Brent, I didn't even have to ask him. He walked out of the locker room and told me turnovers are killing us. He said there are too many that are leading to easy transitions. I asked if he could slow down this Illinois team, and he said, stop turning the ball over. Then it'll slow down, guys.
And there it is, off the block. Here they come again. Right on cue, and those are the kinds of things that he hopes to avoid, and Crosswhite jumps in and fouls Augustine. That's his second.
The first 5 minutes of the second half, critical. We always talk about 5-minute segments in a basketball game. There's 8 mini battles, each of them 5 minutes apiece. But the first 5 out of halftime, very important for a team that's trailing.
Put back by Augustine for the field goal. Illinois having it their way. Taylor on the drive, blocking foul call. I believe it was before the shot.
Another example of that sideline break. Oregon looking up the floor for their teammates, not afraid to throw the ball ahead, to skip past that ball up the floor because the pass is faster than the dribble.
Taylor steps out of bounds. Here's Harrison. Williams takes him in a one-on-one duel. Comes Platt in low. No. Tap Crosswhite. No. Augustine clears.
Good team defense by the Illini. Swarming defense. Good help defense.
Here's Powell.
Powell's had a quiet night.
Missed his first 2 shots and then just didn't get back into the offensive flow. Didn't play all that much in the first half. Pump fake, and here comes Williams on the drive. Beautiful pass to Powell, who finishes that time. What an assist by Williams.
This team really enjoys the thrill of the pass. A lot of teams have players that love to score. They enjoy the thrill of the score, the thrill of the dunk. But it's a team that enjoys the thrill of the pass. That's why they have so many assists as a team.
And Steve, the thrill of the pass has taken him to that #1 spot in assists. Taylor misses the 3. Tap by Platt's good.
There's my Hanyok. Not pretty, but getting it done down low. He's got to hustle back now in transition, though.
Head, who shot so well in the first half, glides inside, and Platt fouls him. This passing could take this team deep into March and even into April, folks.
We see the ball reversed to Darren Williams. He sizes up, shot fakes, lifts his defender, gets into the paint, draws 2, dump off for the dunk. Little chin up there by Roger Powell. Look at the vision. Nice dump off, little bounce pass. Powell with the chin up on the rim.
That's an NBA assist waiting to happen for Williams right there.
He's very smooth. He plays at that maneuverability speed we've talked about before, Brent. Never in a hurry, takes his time, sees the floor.
Note how many assists they have off field goals. It's just a remarkable statistic. 70% of the time they have an assist on a field goal. I mean, that's just remarkable team basketball.
Well, it's almost a sixth sense, an instinct these players have, a feel for one another on the floor, and that comes with continuity, with chemistry. When you have a backcourt, 3 players like Head, Williams, and Brown who played together, practiced together, the summer times, on the court, off the court, just a very close basketball team, and you see the results.
Now, when Schaefer comes on the floor, Powell sits, and Weber goes with the bigger Smith to match up size against size, and that's one of the reasons why Powell did not play all that much in the first half, is that the bigger bodies for Oregon were on the floor.
Coach Weber talked to him before the game. Just want Smith to concentrate on board play, being a presence in the paint. Don't worry about scoring. That'll come naturally. Sometimes Nick Smith wants to score too much.
Knocked away. Here comes Head in a foot race. Can he get through Crosswhite? He does.
Great transition defense by Illini. Nice job of scoring and sprinting back and stopping that initial surge by the Ducks.
They've also been more mindful of Hairston, Steve. It's been harder for him to get the one-on-one moves that he had in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Well, they're sticking to him like flypaper. There's no free looks.
And Brooks forced that one from three-point range. So while we're raving about the Illini offense, they're doing some real good things defensively out here, too.
Forcing those turnovers. Speaking of turnovers.
There's a turnover. So it'll go to the Ducks. You know, we have talked about Ian Crosswhite, the 6'11" junior from Australia. We've mentioned the Thunder down under. We'll show you some of the big men when we come back. Basketball, along with their Australian rules, football, rugby. Terrific sportsmen down there. I remember the old-time tennis players, John Newcomb, Rod Laver, just great group of athletes come out of Australia.
You know, also Mike Dunlap, the head coach at Metro State in Denver, has won national championships at Division II level and Final Fours with a lot of Australians, a pipeline.
Lincoln stayed with it, tapped back, and Hairston was right there.
Nice job of getting back up off the floor. That second shot.
Smith, the tallest player in Illinois basketball history. Here comes the quarterback, Brown. And here is Smith. Won't fall. And Augustine active on the glass.
Oregon's got to get a string of stops, a string of shutouts. Take transition basketball if it's there. If not, establish an inside-outside game to get back into this ball game. Can't allow second shots. Got to get stops at this stage of the game. Perpetual motion by this Illini team. I don't see very many people standing now. A late clock.
Williams firing. Schaefer. Hairston saves it, puts it in Lincoln's hands, and here's Malik. Led Renaissance High to a Class B championship in Michigan. They were 27-0 in there. His parents watching here today.
Standing around by the Ducks. Ducks on the pond need to get moving. Need to get on the fly here.
Here's Hairston. Misses the three. Long rebound. Knocked away. Deep round in the middle. It's got Williams on the left. He'll go in with a left-hand layup that time. Wow.
So explosive.
That's their biggest lead of the game. 53-35. 4 of 9 gambling on the steal. Hairston jumps into his man, and the foul is going to be called.
We talked earlier about D. Brown being a beeper, a road runner. Right here in transition, he is so dangerous, looking for his teammates. Little inside-outside move, gathers himself, goes to the left hand.
Speaking of speed, Dale Earnhardt was the 7-time NASCAR champion. And tonight, the premiere of the movie 3, presented by Kay Jewelers. That'll be on tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Jack Arute, my colleague, Steve, had seen that movie, and he enjoyed it. And he said that Barry Pepper did an outstanding job as Dale Earnhardt in that movie. So I know with all the fans of NASCAR and the late Dale Earnhardt, they'll be tuning in tonight at 9 Eastern to take a look at that.
ESPN going Hollywood. Love it. Malik Hairston struggling a little bit today to find his rhythm. Had the chance to coach him in a 19-under USA team this past summer in Douai, France. And I really believe he's got a bright future, one of the top freshmen in the country. But sometimes coming home, you press a little bit in front of your family, hometown crowd in this part of the country. A lot of relatives. I think over 40 people attending tonight or today, this afternoon, to watch him. So he might be struggling a little bit, trying a little bit too hard. Oregon in that zone defense again.
Mom and Dad were checking the stats up on that scoring board, see how our son is doing here in the second half. McBride off the Illini bench. He's one of the frequently used subs. Ingram has seen playing time here today for Coach Weber. Tap back on the inside to Powell, and Lunan Fowler.
Good patience by the Illini, showing they could play not only in transition and excel in transition basketball, but also on the half court. Against zone and man, they execute. Nice hot potato, probing the defense. They get a nice look inside and draw the foul.
Deep outside now to Brown. 13 minutes left here.
Oregon switches to man-to-man. A lot of different looks from Ernie Kent, trying to find any defense that can get a stop tonight, this afternoon.
On the drive, Williams puts it away. He has 12 points here today, and he is shaken out of his little mini slump, if you will. He's such a fine, outstanding, all-around basketball player.
Makes it look so smooth, effortless, and that's what great players are able to do.
Harrison muscles in on him and draws the foul. Well, ESPN2 HD will be launched on January 6th. So that's a good thing, getting even better, huh, folks? So contact your local cable or satellite provider and tell them you want ESPN2 HD. You got HD at home, Steve?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite sport in HD?
Gotta be hoops. No choice. Preparation.
You know, I really like hockey at HD. Sorry about that, folks, but if they ever play it again.
We got any mud wrestling on there yet in HD?
I hope so.
That'll spike our ratings.
Knocks the free throw down, and it's 55-37 here. 12 and a half minutes to go.
I'm looking for bocce ball as well. That hasn't come over on the HD yet, has it?
No, we haven't had it, but...
spelling bees. Where's bocce ball?
High pass. Cracked back down. Williams on the drive, and he's fouled.
You see Illini there with a couple skip passes, trying to stretch that 2-3 Oregon zone, and then some gap penetration, seams where the jaws of the defense open up, a little shot fake and gap penetration by Williams to draw the foul. Good zone attack there by Illini.
Lincoln sits down. And this is a tough road game for Oregon with 21,000 plus in attendance. Most of them wearing the orange of the Illini. Brooks nails a three ball from the right corner.
Well, the Oregon Ducks, as you mentioned earlier, they're going to continue to get better. Very tough to beat at Mac Court, one of the great home courts in all of college basketball. I think it's kind of a Fenway Park in terms of its tradition, just reeks of great tradition. Very similar to Cameron Indoor Arena, kind of the Cameron of the West Coast, Mac Court is.
On the entry pass, the foul against Jordan Kent, son of the coach right there. He's a 6'5" sophomore, just an outstanding track star.
Welcome back to the United Center. The Fighting Illini up by 15, and you think it's hard enough taking on the #1 ranked team in the nation. How about having an astronomy final exam the day before you take on the #1 team? That's what happened to Malik Hairston, Aaron Brooks, and Mitch Platt of Oregon. They had an astronomy exam they had to take yesterday after practice. Now, Oregon sent down a proctor who had to administer the exam. She told me it went very well. Can't tell me the results, unfortunately. She said they took it quickly. I was told by Terry Warpinski, the proctor of that exam, she told Oregon, if I don't get tickets to that game, I am ripping those exams up. She's here, guys.
Drives a hard bargain.
Somebody whispered in my ear, Aaron, that all passed the exam. I don't know who it was, but one of my contacts in Eugene said passed with flying colors. Here comes Williams on the attack. He'll shoot a pair of free throws.
Aaron Brooks.
I think that there she is. She's right behind the Hairston parents there. She didn't get just any ticket. She got a good seat on the 50-yard line.
You know, those are critical. They're the real MVPs. Your academic advisors, the counselors, when you have a situation in the middle of the season where you're traveling like this, your kids can fall behind academically and you lose your focus. It's good to have someone travel with the team to kind of refocus. Even though you're excited about playing the #1 team in the country, you still got to hit the books or you won't be eligible and won't be able to hit the hardwoods.
I think it's one of the reasons why Oregon had played only 4 games. They were in the middle of their exams. Now Illinois will have its exams coming up, so this is their 9th game already. So if you're wondering about the disparity in the number of games being played, it's because of the final schedule. As Taylor misses the 3 and Ingram yanks the board down.
Oregon struggled all night long to find any kind of presence in the post, generate some points in the post, get themselves to the foul line by feeding the post. And Illinois just more balanced inside and out, as you see Powell on the baseline with the travel there, but it's a good look.
We're in the United Center in Chicago, the home that Michael Jordan made famous. This is college basketball with the #1 team, Illinois, hosting Oregon of the Pac-10, along with Steve Lavin and Aaron Andrews. I'm Brent Musburger, and what we've been watching today is why Illinois is #1. Here's the bomb pass, alley-oop. There it is, another assist on a field goal as Williams finishes up. Just an unselfish group of team players here for Coach Weber. You can't say enough about team basketball.
Well, a great pass in transition, but again, Darren Williams making tough plays look easy. He's so smooth. Those are not easy plays to control the ball with one hand and kiss it off the glass. Are you kidding me?
Take another look at exactly what Coach Lavin was talking about here.
In transition all night long, sharing the ball. Lutherhead with a nice lob pass, controls it with one hand and uses the glass. Again, the bank is always open. Go to the glass for young players watching. Look at this. Body control in midair.
Now, some of you youngsters were 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Remember this, you're going to learn a lot more if you come and play every day in the college game and then go to the NBA. You just watch what Darren Williams finally does. He's a junior right now. He's out of Texas. D. Brown short on the iron. If you're 6'11", 7'1", then I can't blame the Kevin Garnett's of the world for going early. And there's the put down for the field goal, easily on the inside. Marty Lunan.
Another good-looking freshman is going to continue to develop for the Ducks. Finally, an easy basket inside. All night long, they've been trying to get some points inside. They've been a donut. Nothing inside.
Head nails a three from the right corner, right in front of the Illini bench. Hairston responds with the three ball.
Right back at you. Some confusion there in transition. That's a good time to shoot threes.
Hairston's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, Steve. Here's a body that would not dominate in the NBA, getting critical playing time. He can leave after 1-2 years. He's going to be so much better when he finally goes to the pros with experience with the fundamentals at the college level.
Academically, athletically, Powell finally getting loose here.
Another one. He tested the waters, Powell did, at the NBA. He could tell he was not going to be a huge draft choice, so he elected to come back for the Illini. He's a senior from nearby Joliet, Illinois. All right, fans, let's send Dick Vitale packing. You know that HD is going to debut on ESPN2. And which game do you want Dickie V to cover? Here are the choices, Steve. I'm going to give you a vote now. DePaul, Cincinnati, Memphis, Texas, Gonzaga out on the West Coast against Santa Clara. Where do we send him?
I'm sending him out west. The guys in the truck have already said he's too high maintenance. They want him out West Coast. They don't want him in the Midwest or the East.
We saw a great shot of the Big Ten commissioner, Jim Delaney, who is off to our right. Taylor underneath. So he'll be at the free throw line. The commissioner, Jim Delaney, who was a basketball player at North Carolina. He has a son, Newman, who's the point guard at Fenwick. They had a classic high school game here against Brother Rice, in which they lost last night, but it was in overtime. So I reminded Coach Delaney that Newman should go to a Big Ten team and not an ACC team. Let's keep those kids. You know, every place we go, we see great athletes out of the Midwest, Oklahoma, Oregon. What's going on here, Steve?
Well, it's so competitive, and with exposure now and television, kids sometimes grow up in the West rooting for teams in the East. Teams in the East kind of glorified teams, teams in the West. So kids growing up want to go to different places in the country now. And also, there's only so many scholarships for the hometown team. Sometimes you just don't have enough.
Augustine steps out. Got 8:43 for the Illini, and Powell trying to track it down, and foul called against Oregon.
Illinois likes to use that. They fake a ball screen. They look like they're going to shape up into a nice ball screen, and then they'll slip to the basket to create an opening. They've done that a couple times tonight.
So we've got the 7th, so now we've got the 1-on-1. So now we'll see if Powell can hit the front end. The Illini were perfect at that free throw line in the first half, and right now they've missed only one, and still they've missed only one. They're 16 of 17. At the intermission, they'd hit a dozen in a row. So on top of everything else, here's a team that can shoot free throws, Steve, and you know how critical that will be come tournament time.
Well, late games and in the NCAA tournament, games are determined by free throws. Obviously, taking care of the basketball and getting good looks, but free throws are critical.
There's Powell for the rebound. Steve, there's nothing that I've seen here and watched on television that's a weakness with this Illini team.
No, so many weapons. That's why Powell can have a quiet first half, yet the Illini are still up 15 points. There's so many, so diverse, so many weapons.
Good looking shot. It didn't fall, but it was a terrific move. Head circles back in for it on Hairston. Hairston is playing with an injured thumb, which he re-injured in practice yesterday, and I note that here in the half, he has that right thumb taped back up. He originally hurt it, I believe it was in a Vanderbilt game that Coach Kent told us yesterday after practice. You can see it right there. He didn't think it bothered him, but I would think going to rebounds or grabbing the loose balls or something that it might interfere just a little bit.
Yeah, both the hand and coming back home, a lot of nerves, maybe some butterflies. And again, he's only 17 years old.
Schaefer. And he's fouled by Augustine. So we'll take a break. Inside of 8 minutes, the #1 team in the nation, Illinois, showing you why. The Illini flying high, lead at 64-48, and a reminder that 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Monday night. Pretty good story unfolding. The fellas certainly will know whether or not Steve McNair is going to go for the Tennessee Titans up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Nashville on that night. The Chiefs and Dick Vermeil, of course, are without Priest Holmes for the rest of the season, but at 9 Eastern, you're going to get a look. He will get some reps in that game. He's coming along for the Chiefs, learning how to protect Trent Green a little bit and start to run a little bit harder and realizing that you've got to go hard on every play in the NFL. So Johnson starting to step up. The Chiefs still, they can score a ton of points. The question is, can they stop whoever quarterbacks Tennessee on Monday night? Now Schaefer will come to the free throw line. The freshman Hairston is off to his right. And let's go to Aaron, who's with Malik's parents.
That's right, Richard and Elizabeth. And actually, this is his cheering section over here. About 20 fans in from Detroit. I have to ask, what's that? About 20. I have to ask you, you know, Malik had his choice of where he could go to school. You were there during the recruiting process. What was so appealing about Oregon?
That they were very successful when sending their wings to the pro. They had a guard that was a legitimate good point guard that he was interested in playing with. Got a big front line. He was, I thought Coach Kent appealed to him. Certainly appealed to my wife and her daughter. I wasn't that impressed with him. I thought he was a little stiff, actually. He had a pair of alligator shoes on, so I thought there was some redeeming factor. I thought he might have been a little bit more than the corporate veneer that he projected. But he's happy to be here. He loves Oregon. He loves this team. I mean, you know, this is kind of a terrible game to be in for my first one because they're playing so sloppy. It's amazing. I'm disappointed. But it's good to see.
Guys, yesterday Malik told me his dad would be the one to talk to because he would love the spotlight. But I've got to ask Mom Elizabeth real quick. When I talked to you before the game, you had tears in your eyes. You were excited about seeing him play for the very first time. I know you'd like the score different, but what is it like for you seeing him?
It's always very intense when I watch my son play. You know, I'm always on pins and needles. It's very exciting, but super intense for me.
Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your time. Brent?
All right, Aaron, thank you. Good job over there. I cannot believe what Malik's father said about Ernie Kent. A little bit stiff when he came in. But, you know, Ernie knows what to do, folks. He's a high-class guy. Recruit the mother. Forget the father. Recruit the mother.
Well, Ernie Kent is all business. Remember, he's got the coaching bloodlines to Dick Carter, who was pretty serious, all business, a little bit Sergeant Carter. He may be a little stiff in the collar, but he has a great personality. He's doing a great job with this program and recruiting and creating excitement, a great home court at Mac Court. But that's the dangerous thing about interviewing parents on national TV. You never know what they're going to say.
Well, they tell you the truth. There's nothing wrong with the truth.
He's telling Ernie, loosen up a little bit, Ernie.
They'll set you free, baby. Come on. Steve, you know that. There's this wonderful moment. Powell picks it up for the Illini. Here's Williams. He's looked big time all day long and sets up Powell for the three. A wide open look. Darren Williams sees the floor as well as any player that I've watched this year.
Well, they lead the country in assists. They all look for one another, sharing the sugar. They're shooting the ball with confidence, willing to make that extra pass, to use the dribble with a purpose. I like the fact Hairston is trying to force the issue a little bit, try and get to the basket to draw a foul and get himself to the foul line.
Mom will watch him, and she's wondering, she saw him limp a little bit to that free throw line. And there's Pops.
Hairston very efficient offensively. Doesn't rush, takes his time, sees the floor. Reminds me of some players who were very efficient in the past. I think of Bobby Dandridge, obviously at a younger age, Marcus Johnson, some of the more efficient players, Adrian Dantley, not in a rush, not in a hurry. Oftentimes young players just go too fast.
Well, Malik's father talked about the reason why the son had signed up out there was the fact that the pros had drafted the wingmen out of Oregon. And remember, they've had 3 #1 choices in each of the last 3 years. Luke Jackson, the most recent, who has joined the NBA. Jones and Ridnour, the other two. And on the turnaround, Powell.
Boys, he lit it up here in the second half. Really found his groove, found his rhythm offensively. It's a moving target. You got to pick your poison. They can all beat you.
There is nothing that we have seen here that indicates that Illinois will be challenged next week as the #1 team. And I guess, what does the ESPN USA Today, does that come out on Sunday like the football? Comes out on Monday, I'm told. And this is Taylor knocking down a 3-ball from right in front of the Oregon bench. But they've only been #1 in the nation 3 times. That was hard for me to believe when I read that stat. And in each of the 2 previous times, they lost the next time out. But that certainly is not the case here. As Smith turns around with a jump shot. They're going to go 3-0 this week. They went into Georgetown. The Hoyas under young coach Thompson slowed it down. Went to that Princeton attack. It flustered Illinois for a while, but then they sort of pulled away and seized control with their talent in the second half. And here, right from the start, they have dominated this Oregon team as Hairston's fouled against him.
Yeah, Hairston, a great nose for the ball there again, finding a way to generate some points, opportunities for the Ducks. The thing that I think is really impressive, this Illinois team seems at ease being #1 in the country. Sometimes teams get uptight when the bullseye's on your chest and people are shooting for you. He's kept them aggressive and attacking, and I think it's because there's a lot of high-profile players who are highly recruited. They've been to Sweet 16s. They've been Big Ten champions. They're used to the media spotlight, close to the Chicago, a big media-based city like this, and so they're just really comfortable, and they enjoy, they're thriving being at #1.
This is like a second home for them. When you look at the Orange, there are so many alums from Illinois who live in the greater Chicago area, and they have packed the place. You can see the Orange standing up there with applause for this team. And Champaign, 2.5 hours south here, depending on the traffic. Of course, Assembly Hall, and we wish Ron Zook well with the football team, the new head coach down there.
Great tradition. You think of those Lou Henson teams, and obviously Bill Self did a nice job winning some Big Ten championships. Just great tradition.
Taylor stays with it and missed it on the follow. Good hustle by Taylor. Deep 3 off iron. And off D. Brown's hands. Oregon basketball 4-17, 73-54. The Illini headed for their 9th consecutive win of the season. And Coach Weber, who took over last year with his motion offense after doing a remarkable job at Southern Illinois. And, of course, for 20 years, he assisted Gene Cady. And Taylor showing us he's going to be an outstanding scorer.
Well-schooled at Harvard Westlake. And, again, his father playing in Princeton and also in the NBA. Brian Taylor worked a lot individually with Bryce over the years during the summer times and the off seasons. This whole Oregon team is going to be very dangerous by the time the Pac-10 rolls around. Still trying to find their identity. They need an inside presence to step up. It could be cross-white.
D. Brown with the 3-ball. . 'Cause Well, it is time now to take a look back on this date in college basketball. All right, Steve, show us your top all-time centers, because I want to disagree with you.
Well, first we have to qualify this for the collegiate level during their college careers, because obviously Shaq is not on there, Elijah Wan. But I think in the collegiate level, the back-to-back national titles for the USF Dons, 3 national titles for Cinder, Bill Walton, part of that 88-game win streak. And you look at that group of 5, and Leitner went to 4 Final Fours. That's pretty impressive. So that's a good group right there.
You cannot leave Patrick Ewing off that list.
You got a good case there. Maybe he's our 6th man. We'll draw him in there on the telestrator. And Will Chamberlain.
You've just sparked a couple of barroom arguments. The 5 best centers in the history of college basketball. And Smith goes in, has it stripped. Here's Taylor on the inside, fouled. He'll shoot free throws, and Smith's going to get a technical. No question. And he deserves it.
That's a freshman, frustrated. It's a competitive, fiery group of Ducks. It's tough to go on the road and get beat like this.
So a senior who should know better than to draw the ire of the officials. Timeout. Illinois dominating 76-57, and let's remind you about the high-definition schedule on ESPN right now. Log on to ESPN.com. You'll get the latest of all the schedules. Of course, I'll remind you, tonight at 9 Eastern, the movie 3 about the late Dale Earnhardt. You want to catch that. Then Sunday Night Football at 8:30 in HD. Eagles and the Redskins. Everybody conceding the NFC to the Philadelphia Eagles. They've got it rolling. Wednesday, NBA. I'll be in Madison Square Garden. We'll have the Pistons and the Knicks. What happened to the Pistons last night? Beaten by Atlanta at home. Larry Brown, how can that happen? They'll play the Knicks at 8 East. I'm sure he likes me to remind him of that. I mean, he just loved that.
Leading the break.
And Brooks shoots the technical for Oregon. As Smith, let's see, during that timeout, did Coach Weber put him on the bench over there? Yes, he did. It was a silly mistake, especially by a veteran, to just whip the basketball down the length of the court, even if he didn't foul him. Just don't, calm down and play. That's all.
He tends to get down on himself. He beats himself up.
Yep.
And that just compounds problems. Now you lose confidence.
So now we found a weakness with the Illini. The 7'2" center picks up an occasional tee, right?
They need him, though. Down the stretch in the NCAA tournament, they're going to have the big fella, the space eater there in 7 foot. And he has a soft touch. He just likes to roam around the perimeter a little too much. Just to get back under the hole.
Off the miss. So Kent, Taylor, Brooks, Harrison on the floor. Along with the 5th man is Marty Lunin, the freshman from Redmond, Oregon. 6'9" freshman. He took some time in the first half, too. He's down in that post right now against England. And a pushing foul.
Ingram, Jack Ingram, eager to get a catch. Doesn't get the ball too much on the block. He went right to the bucket.
Kenny Payne has been added to the Oregon staff, and one of the reasons why Coach Kent has added him is that Kenny has such great professional experience, played the NBA and then over in Europe for a long time, and he can relate to these youngsters. There was not a coaching connection. It was kind of interesting, but everyone recommended Kenny to coach, and they went out to dinner with him one night, and they were so impressed with him. He's such a nice fella in conversation, and Coach said, I'd like to offer you a job, and he did, and you could see him working with these fellows at practice. And this Oregon team, as Steve has told you, figures to get a lot better when the Pac-10 season gets underway. They're having trouble with the turnovers. D. Brown misfired with the left hand that time, and Brooks just has to be more savvy with the basketball.
Yeah, nothing there. He was forcing it. Just make the easy play. Again, younger players, freshmen, sophomores at times, try and make the home run play. They try and make the hard play instead of keeping it simple.
And he'll shoot a pair. D. Brown was fouled. And of course, reminder that coming up next, the 2004 NCAA Division II football championship. Florence, Alabama is the site, and Pittsburgh State, the Gorillas, will take on Valdosta State for the Division II title. Pittsburgh State is 14-0, and all of you know that it's located in Kansas, right, and not Pennsylvania. That's coming up. I guess the kick is probably at about 4:05, 4:06 as soon as we finish here. And we got word that your roommate, Bobby Houck, the coach up at the University of Montana, the Grizz, they were ahead at halftime. So they would be advancing to the Division I AA final down in Chattanooga.
Doing a great job. The Grizzlies.
Yeah, a nice little stadium up there in Missoula, probably rocking today against Sam Houston State, a team that beat them during the regular season, but that game was down in Texas.
Bobby Houck, great recruiter. He's got that river runs through it charm, small town charm, and of course the moms love him.
You are a font of information. You know where a river runs through it was written. I'm impressed with that.
I'll surprise you.
You have repeatedly. And D. Brown bringing it up now for the Illini.
Expect them to milk the clock here. We talked earlier about Payne.
Oh, what a move around by Jaron Williams. Big time talent here today.
Nice hesitation. Didn't look like anything was there, and he found a crack, found a nook, a cranny to get there for the little reverse layup.
And the three ball is nailed by Kenny Love, the sophomore. He went to JC in Casper, Wyoming before signing on here with the Ducks traveling. And an ovation as the starters now come off with 1:44 to go. All five of these starters in double figures. How about that for balance? And Luther Head, Aaron, led the way here today.
He sure did, and you know, people that are close to him feel he is a feel-good story of the year. He was suspended for about 6 games last year for some off-the-court problems. Coach Weber never gave up on him. There were some times Head even said to him, do you want me to quit the team because of those problems? Weber said, I don't want you to quit. I want you to change. He worked at it. He stayed humble. He did what the coach asked him, and you can see the benefits right now, Brent. Yeah, you sure can, Aaron. And there's a youngster we want to talk about who just came off the bench. Number 55 is a freshman for the Illini. Headman! Nothing to it on a breakout now as they clear the bench. Number 55 is Sean Pruitt, folks. He's out of West Aurora High School here, and he was one of the most talented big men in the state of Illinois. 6'9", and Coach Weber had a scholarship and brought him in. It'll be tough this year for him to get minutes, but you can see from that body that he could be a big prospect.
Looked like a long jumper there. Took off from distance and flushed it home. Be interesting to see how the Illini handled being #1 as the weeks progress. You look at UConn last year, came out of the gates #1. When they struggled, dropped out of the #1, that's when they really made their progress. Kind of out of the spotlight a little bit. Coach Calhoun and staff patched together. They didn't go into the tournament #1. They make that nice run after the Big East Conference Tournament Championship, and they never look back. National champs. #1's nice for recruiting, Brent. Good for the exposure, it's fun for the fans, but in reality, like you said, it's more about getting a good seed and a good bracket. It's about matchups come tournament time.
There were 7 #1s last year, so UConn certainly did not dominate from beginning to end. 83-64. Pruitt misses that.
Yeah, it's all about improving. Each day, each practice,
on a
each
drive,
game.
and Kent, who made the free throws, adds the field goal. Illinois here today has hit 58%, and it is the 6th time in 9 games that they've shot over 50% from the field. '66, our final. Up next, the NCAA Division II Football Championship. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Steve Lavin and Aaron Andrews and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brent Musburger. Now, we go to Florence, Alabama. Eric Collins has the call.